and we are playing with mostly the same flags as we had from Summer Games Done Quick, which is why I was called Danstat at the beginning. So, you will see the sword at the start, and you'll see some more familiar spots. Like what?
Yes, we're going to go see very familiar spots on our overworld map as you see Blight as heading over towards either level 1 or level 2 as their first destination. We do have 3 of our runners heading over towards level 3 for their first home. So dungeons are going to be in their regular positions, and well, that's a pallet for level 3.
I thought we didn't have to worry about Pepto-Bismol here, but I may have been mistaken.
Well, here we go. And some free bombs for all of our runners who pop into level 3, which is a good thing. And we get our famous room right there. What room is that, Wolfman?
I was focused on Blightside level 1, actually, and that looked like a normal entrance room, but oh, shoot, I see something familiar on Freytooth's side.
That's what I was trying to get you to say. The oh, shoot. The classic old shoot room, that is the map. We're not going to see these runners grab the map in this week because we are dealing with vanilla first quest dungeon layouts. That is going to change when we get later on in the later weeks of this qualifier procedure. But for now, we're dealing with first quest level layouts. We'll tell you the differences coming up as we move on to week 1 and week 2 a little bit later on. Blight, seeing that there's nothing they can do in level 1, has opted to leave. And this is a nice screen right here. You get 4 keys in a drop room. Is it a good drop? Well, we don't copy the map. Hey, we take a death, unfortunately, to a stone trap for fried teeth. So, just a brief introduction to these 4 runners while we're searching level 3. For Blight, this is their first race of the week, which will give them their Z-score for the entire week, which is, we'll take them on to the next week. Mr. Dumno's currently placed 74th according to those Z-scores. Fried Teeth is 51st. And Magic Friends is 64th. And these Z-scores are what's going to end up determining what is going to be their seeding when we get to the end of week number 5. We see a compass, by the way, in this level 3. And is that horrible bunny room that Mr. Delno's in right now?
Yes. It is the Pole's Voice room. That's where the Triforce is. So, do you get it now, or wait till you get the bow?
Wait till you get the bow, because you're going to have to come back in this direction when it's time to go to level 7 as it is. That'd be my suggestion at this point, but, we're going to see some different strategies taking place. Unfortunately, the thing is, that's not a fun, friendly room. Not only do you have to deal with the Pole's Voice, but you also have to do with those shooters. The Pole's Voice do 2 hearts damage. The shooters do a half a heart of damage, and the problem is, when you have 3 hearts, Link is kind of squishy.
Yeah, a little too squishy for my tastes, and probably a little too squishy for Blight's tastes as well. They go down.
And in this early portion of the tournament, enemy HP is going to be the normal. So those Pole's Voice carry 10 HP. 10 wood sword hits, you've got to hit them. And that's not fun.
I don't know if it's fun for Freyteeth to be in that position, but it does offer protection against those blue land molas, somehow.
The nice thing is being able to pick up some bombs. Now, Freyteeth is trying to get... Oh, he went for the fairy! That's a cardinal sin. You go for the fairy, you're going to get yourself hit. That's why fairies sometimes can be the worst thing possible. So he ends up taking a death, has to go back to start.
The better thing to do in that situation, for those that aren't familiar, once you take out 1 land mola out of 2, leave the room, then come back.
Yep, and that's exactly what he should have done in that case, which it's just unfortunate, but it turned out to be one of those cases where he saw the fairy, that was going to be guaranteed health for him, but unfortunately, the Lamola had something else. Now, Magic Friends is guaranteed to get through this room if he can kill off this last remaining head. There it is. Because the other one spawned to the top. Oh, there's another room. No drop in this room here, so Magic Friend's going to try to bomb over it now. You notice that room did not bomb open.
I did not notice it open. That is correct.
Now, isn't there a rule in level 3 that says the rooms are mostly connected?
Mostly connected, but there are a few rooms where you can bomb. If I recall the way the flags are, we're going to have roughly the same number of bombable walls from the original quest over here.
Well, the thing is with level 3, all the rooms are connected. So there's a reason preventing our runners from being able to go from this room that Fried Teeth is in to the room to the left. And there's two reasons why they wouldn't be able to do that at this point. One would be what we're thinking about is a corridor staircase, which would be the item. The other reason, it could be Zelda's room.
I honestly remember there being 2 bomb holes in vanilla level 3, but yeah, I think it could be, that's the staircase room, and it's one of those staircase rooms where you can't enter from the east.
Yep, because levels 1, 2, and 3, all the walls are connected. You can either bomb, key door, or open door, shutter door, whatever the case is, but there's always going to be a door of some sort that connects all of the rooms. Level 4 is where that rule starts to fall a little bit.
And then,
and then level 5, good luck.
Yeah.
I like the strategy here by Fried Teeth, by the way.
Good old block clipping. I kinda know it, but
Ooh, okay, so he's leaving the room now, and he's going to be coming back in here with the first land molded down. Heart container, so there's your floor drop. We know where the compass, we already got the compass, so we know where the Triforce is. Fried Teeth just wants to get back up to that room, see if this is the corridor staircase that has the item. And it is.
So then here's the question. What is that item? We already saw heart container on the floor drop.
Yep, and we know that with the heart shuffle turned on, it could be a heart container, but instead, what is that?
That is the ladder, aka the step ladder, aka I am not getting in the middle of the Ace Attorney fan base.
AKA, I'm out of this level, and I will come back when I have the bow. Let's see what our medium secret is, by the way. It turns out to be maximum 40.
Well, if we need to buy that blue candle to get into level 8, it certainly wouldn't hurt.
And it's 69 rupees. Not enough, Fried Teeth.
Not exactly nice there, but I can't help that. Now, Blight is hoping to take out those land molas.
So, yes, to answer the question we have from chat, are heart containers shuffled in? Yes, they are. And you're going to see all 8 of the dungeon heart containers shuffled in with the 9th one, which is normally on that ladder coast. Plus, of course, all the other items that are in play. So we know we can find additional heart containers at some point in time. Mr. Dunlow taking this room very patiently down to 1 blue dark knot and gets rewarded with a heart container.
Now, level 1 has 3 items we can find. 2 floor drops and 1 hidden cellar.
Yep, and here's the hidden cellar right now. Just gotta get around 3 Pulse Boys. It looks like the Pulse Boys are your communal enemy here, so you're gonna see them in multiple dungeons. Heart container as the staircase for level 1.
Well, at the very least, we've already found 3 heart containers. Once we make our way to level 5...
Nice clock there for Fried Tooth.
Then we can pick up the white sword item.
So another room of Pulse Voice. So as you can see, because we have so many rooms that have Pulse Voice right now, that bow and arrow is going to be a hot commodity. Only groups that's not going to have the Pulse Voice are the Wizrobe groups.
Speaking of Wizrobes, looks like Blight is hoping level 6 has what we need.
And I've been caught up with what's going on in the first screens here. Oh, red ring and 6! Nice find!
We talked earlier about how squishy Link is. 1 red ring, it reduces all your damage by 3/4.
Yeah. That is a beautiful find for Blight at this point. Mr. Dunlow suffering a death. So what this means for Blight is that he will now end up only losing 1/4 of a heart, or rather 1/2 of a heart for every enemy that normally deals 2 hearts damage. We see one of the mugger rooms here. You either lose a heart container or the the key. And when you have only 3, you can lose a heart container, go down to zombie stats, and you will not lose a heart container.
Also, we found the Triforce in level 1. Patra was guarding it instead of a map, apparently disobeying orders.
I think he was obeying orders perfectly.
But the vanilla game, it says that Patra guards the map.
Oh, I know what the vanilla game says. But why would you want a map when you have the vanilla layouts? The Triforce is more important.
Fair point. So those mugger rooms, well, we just saw one of them. I want to say there are up to 3 of them, and they were all borrowed from second quest. Which, in this case, well, heart container keys is a little bit more bearable, I think. Well, actually, no, that's one of the worst combinations. Where's that magic key?
Well, we could maybe find it in one of these levels that we see our runners in. So far, right now, Mr. Dunlow, Magic Friends, and Fried Teeth are all taking care of level 1. And this is not an easy setup here. This is going to be a combative-heavy seed, which is why what Blight got here in this level 6 is very important, getting that red ring out of here.
Also, there's more Pull's voice here. I'm just starting to wonder if it's going to even be better to see Wizrobes right now, and I don't like Wizrobes!
Recorder at 6!
That's the recorder.
Yeah, that gains entry to level 7, and Mr. Dunlow grabbing the Triforce out of level 1. First one of these runners to get the Triforce out of 1, first one to grab a Triforce, period.
And with that recorder, Blight has immediate access to level 7.
So Fried Teeth, the first to the ladder. Now, here's the thing with Magic Friends and for Fried Teeth. How much... When is enough enough? When do you get out of here?
Well, we found 2 of the 3 items, at least from what I've seen. And they were both heart containers. Maybe they just want to find the 3rd.
And that's understandable. They, level 1 being a small level, but all of this does happen here is it does sink a lot of time into here that you could maybe be finding something better to help you out. Like, again, knowing that we now have 2 enemy groups that have Pull's voice in them, finding where that bow is could be a really, really good idea, especially since you're getting popped for 2 hearts per Pull's voice. Well, may the Triforce be with you.
I'm trying to remember if there was a room above that, but I think we had another way over, so we may not need the meat today.
So Fried Teeth finishing off the bunnies, and again, this is what I'm getting at with regards to the whole scenario here with these Pull's voice. It takes a lot of time in order to try to kill these guys, and perhaps the room that you're looking for is in a much easier enemy room. So another Pull's voice room here for Blight, and he was thinking, and he was considering checking that room to the south, but he's now going to take his red ring and try to sword these guys down. All Blight is looking for in this level now is the Triforce. And you see what Mr. Dunlow just purchased.
Those looked like arrows.
Those did look like arrows. So great decision here by Mr. Dunlow to end up making that purchase. Now, I'm surprised that Mr. Dunlow did not... Oh, wait. Oh, we got a bow. Mr. Dunlow has the bow. Was that the Armos item?
I think so. That's based off of that location, and look where Dunlow's heading. Whole Voice City in level 6. Yeah,
and that's going to be a huge find right there. And Blight's going to be wanting to make that purchase, but you do see the Blight did get an advantage of getting quite the...
Oh, Blight!
Quite the advantage there by getting the clock. Now, he does this clip, gets over the water. He's going to be able to sword down this bunny. Look at this go, and he's going to get rewarded with that shutter door opening up. In a much friendlier room here. There's the red ring for Mr. Dunlow.
Friendlier is relative. The ropes are kind, the statues are not. Oh, clock.
Well, when there's the Triforce too. What I mean by friendlier in that case for Blight, ropes that do at your health situation, they're 1/8 damage. And BMO statues that do 1/8 damage compared to the Bull's Voice that do a half a heart damage. You like that first option better.
Yeah, and oh, Mr. Dunlow passing up on level 6 right now did not want to spend those keys, but wait, Hetty. Oh!
Yeah, he's going to check different directions. Now, the problem is that level 6 having the recorder is going to be a find that he really needs to have at this point. Blight about to pick up the bow. Right there it is.
We'll get a second chance.
Yeah, he gets it right there. He just went off the screen to get rid of the Armos. And he's going to go into the shop right here. He's just No, he's got enough rupees. Ha! Get the arrows! Don't think about it. Get the arrows. You've seen 2 dungeon enemy sets with Pole's Voice. You get those arrows and you like it. There we go. Now, Fried Teeth, with ladder in hand, is making his way over towards the coast. We're going to find out what is on the ladder heart in just a moment. But first, he wants to add to his life.
As long as he doesn't lose his life.
Yeah! That's a dangerous thing there with those Lionels wanting to shoot at you. And bad bombing right there for Blight, but gets in, finds that's going to be a shop he has very little interest in.
Yeah, blue Lionels are one of the more dangerous overworld enemies. It doesn't matter whether it's by contact or by magical thrown sword, 2 hearts of damage without ring protection.
Nice screen scroll there for Fried Teeth getting around those Lionels that were hovering that other side. So Fried Teeth gonna have to watch out for his health just a little bit because he does want to get to this ladder item. Does get a couple of hearts on the 6 and 7, and the wand. Nice find.
Oh, and we also found 2 rupee bombs in the blue ring shop. Blight only has 1 rupee.
Yeah. First Triforce for Magic Friends. No rupees for Blight. Pops in the shop, and now he'll get all the information he needs in regards to his shops. We definitely get some cheap bombs right there, which is good. And Mr. Dunlow here. And this is the unfortunate thing for Mr. Dunlow not paying that penalty. Having too many hearts at this point to give up the heart container and not wanting to give up the keys is going to miss out on the fast route to get to the recorder. Hopefully Mr. Dunlow does not opt to leave here with the Triforce and not the item. As Fried Teeth pops into level 2, it's our first opportunity to see what's in the moon. Or Poe's Voice.
I am not surprised. Some call this place the moon, some call it the crescent, some call it, ooh, nice early compass find.
Some call it, ooh, nice early compass find. Here's now we're having that wand is going to be a nice beneficial help there. As we find out one of the 2 items in level 2 is the heart container.
Now we have to remember, folks, level 2 has 2 items here, but both of them are enemy drops. There are no staircases here.
We have already found 4 of our heart drops so far.
You are correct. The take any rooms are still in their vanilla location, so we don't have to worry about those.
And Fried Teeth not listening to the old man, asking why does it have to be ropes? Well, that's what Mr. Dunlow is asking at this point.
And some of you folks may have noticed that the old men NPCs aren't really spouting a lot of useful information. That's because they never will.
Yep, we're dealing with community hints in this tournament, all throughout the tournament. So if you're looking to get some help from the old man, you better think again. 2 of our runners are in level 2 at this point.
Oh, shoot.
18 rupees, by the way, for the small secret. So we have nearly max on the small, max on the medium.
Do you think any of our runners will route in the large?
Probably not with the red ring. At least for Blight or Mr. Dunmo. We might see the other two opt to go for, depending on what happens with their health situation here. And Fried Teeth opting to go ahead and use the wand for what it's used for against those Zals.
Also, level 2 had 2 heart containers. Fried
Yep,
Teeth.
there's the other heart container right there. So that's 5 of the 9 heart containers we're going to see already. And by the way, just to make note, we need to still find several items in order to beat this game. Obviously, we got the bow. We've got the ladder. We already know where the ladder is going to be. We know where the recorder is. Now, we do need to find out where the raft is going to be. We can tell you that it's guaranteed not to be in level 4. That's because you need the raft to get into level 4.
So that means our raft is in 5, 7, or 8.
Or
the White Sword location.
Yep, that's correct. The other thing we're looking for in this flag set, because Ganon is always going to be required in order to save the princess, we are always going to need to have the silver arrows. Now, the silver arrows obviously can still be in level 9.
And depending on, opinion, that is either a good thing or a bad thing.
It depends on how we come across the items. I know runners would love to find the silver arrows before they find the remainder of their necessary items. So there's another medium seeker for Fried Teeth. Will he head to the top right corner? That's going to be interesting at this point, because Fried Teeth doesn't know the riches that are in level 6 at this point.
And, Sniper Chow X is correct. I don't think we saw the third item in level 1.
If we did, I didn't see it, you didn't see it, and nobody else has seen them of the people that are watching here on Speed Gaming 2 Live at this point. So Fried Teeth is making... Oh, wow. Look at Fried Teeth's health right now. By the time Fried Teeth heads on over to level 6, he could have a chance for a magical sword.
Okay, I understand why Fried Teeth went to the White Sword Cave, where there's going to be another item, but... doing this before going to level 5?
Yes. And unfortunately, we find out that it's the book, but, if it turns out to be an item, like, for instance, if it was the raft, he doesn't know the recorder's not going to be there, but if it turns out to be one of those items, that changes how he strategizes level 5. Maybe you find out only one of the items in there, and you gamble on the other one. But at least it removes a possibility when you step inside level 5, because level 5 is not a huge dungeon, but because of how the dungeon is structured, it can be a tough one to route. Especially when you start up here on the very top.
Yeah, starting, third row from the top, third column on the, relatively...
And, by the way, look at what we see!
It's Uncle Wizzy.
Yes, we find the dungeon that doesn't have the ropes, or rather the opposed voice.
I really don't know how to feel about that.
Well, given Fried Teeth's 10 hearts, you kind of feel a little happier that you're finding it at 10 hearts, as opposed to finding it when you are down to like 3 or 4 or 5 hearts at the very beginning of the seed. But... you're still not feeling great about your life choices at this point, but at least you feel a little bit better than you could. Oh, there's the Triforce right there, so it's going to be a ladder clip away, and the ladder clip is never going to be required, so there's going to be a transport staircase that's supposed to take you from the top section to the bottom section. Fried Teeth pulls off the ladder clip, gets the Triforce out of 5, but I'm going to guess at this point, knowing that he still needs the raft and the recorder, he's popping back in. There he goes.
Makes sense. Also, just so it's clarified, the reason I said no earlier was because that was the book in the White Sword Cave, and most runners don't want the book.
Not in these flag sets. Now, there are flags that can make the book a much better of an item to get. Like, for instance, the ones where you understand Old Men, which is not in play with these flag sets. It's never going to be in play for this tournament. But if the book is the Atlas and you're dealing with shapes, that is a really good thing to find as well. For IT, finding the Power Bracelet as one of the items in 5, not required to beat the game, but it can help you with your transportation.
The warps, the 4 warps are still in their same location?
That is correct. The 4 warps are in their same locations. They are not replaced by dungeons. You won't ever need it to beat the game. But, as I pointed out, it will help with the routing here. Fright Teeth does have to get over towards the Armos area, does have to get over towards level 6 at some point in time. This will help him get from the start area to level 6 a little bit faster.
Fright Teeth did find one of the stairs, the transports, but... Oh, and look at Blight, entered level 8. And
That's right, and level 8 is one of those nice dungeons to find. One of those nice dungeons not to find because you know where it is, but it's one of the nice dungeons to go into. More because you know that 8 is going to have 3 items inside.
But unlike level 1, there's only 1 floor drop, and 2 of them are buried under the stairs.
Well, that's unfortunate, but also fortunate, because at least depending on the staircase, you may not have to kill a particular group of enemies in order to make it appear. 2 staircase rooms side by side. What if this is the other end of that transport? It's the other end of that transport!
Should we add psychic abilities to your list of skills here, Rick?
No, because that's Murphy's Law right there. If you take the transport staircase and find that just goes only 1 room over, well, that's one thing. But if you don't take that transport, you find the other staircase, guess what? It is going to be almost 9 times out of 10, the 2 are connected. Heart Container, that is the 6th Heart Container, by the way.
Yeah, 6 out of 9. We are running low on some of those key items here. And, okay, Fright Teeth does have that ladder. And gets a key. Magic Friends gets an unfortunate death. Mr. Dunlow with Triforce Piece level 2. And
Ooh.
I just missed what...
Yeah, I missed it too. But it wasn't anything important.
Alright, we'll worry about that one later.
No, it had to be some sort of bomb drop or something, because Fright Teeth is still searching this 5 for the room drop. And hey there, Goma. Well, we do have the bow and arrows in order to just dispatch of that, but that's still a possibility. That could be the room drop right there.
I don't remember if that room could have a drop in it.
It's that's a good question at this point. We do see the bomb upgrade. It is 83 rupees. It can be for anything between 2 and 6. Now, we know this room that Fright Teeth is in cannot have a room drop. That's because dark rooms will never... Well, it can have a room drop. Like, it does have the compass, but it can't have an item. Like the items that we're looking for, the floor drop item or a Triforce. So I'm thinking Fright Teeth is now coming to the resolution that he does need to kill this Goma.
Well, we do have arrows, so... Oh no! The statue shooters get their revenge, and thus the gorillas have to be killed again.
Fright Teeth took a little too much damage there, trying to be a little too fast in regard to these guys, because Fright Teeth knows at this point that he should have killed that Goma the first time through that he was in that room, because he does have the arrows and whatnot. He's a little too aggressive at this point, does get through the room, has 4 hearts, so he'll be fine.
Also, some good news and bad news for Blight. The good news, they know where the Triforce is in level 8. The bad news, it's in a Chevy room.
So they're going to need to get the ladder that is out of level 3. And up to this point, Fried Teeth is the only person to have pulled the ladder out of level 3 at this stage. Because they ended up killing those Lamola. That was a nasty room to have to go to get that, too. And there's the raft at 5!
Level 4 is now accessible.
Level 4 is accessible, and guess where Fried Teeth is going?
Over to level 4 makes sense. In the meantime, both Mr. Dunlow and Magic Friends exploring 5.
Well, Fried Teeth is going to make a pit stop first, buy that 69 rupee candle so he can get into level 8, because there's no guarantee that the red candle is accessible before you get to level 7, or, I mean, it could be in level 9 for all we know.
And also, chat brought up a good point. Unless we happen to find the silver arrows in 7 or 8, we had to buy those arrows in order to get the raft.
Yeah, that is correct. Alright, be right back. Going for ice cream.
Well,
what flavor do you want?
I actually don't eat ice cream.
Alright, more for me then.
Feel free. In the meantime, this is perhaps a good time. Please follow our runners. Stygian Blight, Mr. Dunlow, Magic Friends, and Fried Teeth. Wrong button. Don't forget about Adirondack Rick, my other commentary partner, and the one who really knows all this stuff, as well as Mr. Cab55 for tracking all this. And I saw that there. You're good, Jiggly Saint. Don't worry.
Alright, I'm back with Vanilla.
Yeah, you just missed the plugs, that's all. Oh, hang on, Blight just found a staircase.
And that's not Vanilla, that's the boomerang. And Blight is gonna pick it up.
Apparently Blight wants banana-flavored ice cream.
Well, Mr. Dunlow now searching out this level 5. Now, here's the thing. Now, obviously, we do not need the ladder in order to grab that Triforce, because we may need that ladder to grab the Triforce. Let me take that back. We don't need to ladder clip in order to get to the Triforce. But Mr. Dunlow should be able to get to the other side fine. I don't think there's a ladder block keeping him from the transport staircase to the other side. Fried Teeth clearing out that room. Now, hopefully there's not a Wall Master. I think we've seen the dungeon set with the Wall Master, and it's the Wizrobe set that Blight is in with this level 8.
Yeah, Blight already experienced the Wall Masters firsthand. Never a good feeling.
Well, the bad thing about Wall Masters is when they get mixed into other enemies, in particular rooms, well, you might be able to miss one. And there's been a race earlier where missing a Wall Master came into play, one of these qualifier races.
Ooh,
and it turned out that the recorder was on the other side of the room drop. And in order to get that, you needed to clear all the rooms. The problem is that some of the runners got a clock in that room and never saw spawning Wall Master.
Which meant those Wall Masters managed to manipulate their own item drops, and so Ganon will have to give them a hand.
That is correct. Magic Friends going through the transport staircase, Mr. Dunlow trying to figure out what to do about this level 5, has opted to save.
I think Mr. Dunlow got the raft at...
Oh, there's the other banana right there in level 4, the magic boomerang. So both boomerangs have now been accounted for. There's the compass for Fried Teeth, does see that it's in a room that is to his liking. Now, have we seen both items in this level 4 so far, or have we just seen the... Never mind!
Oh! The arrows had to be bought because those are the silvers.
Mr. Dunlow did get the raft. He's in 4. To be fair... Oh, look at this room that Blight's in. Look
Ooh.
at this room that Blight is in, trying to block clip around blue Wizrobes, and this is not a fun adventure whatsoever. Little
At
stressful
least-
gets it though, and he gets rewarded with the white sword.
At the very least, Blight did have the red ring to afford some extra damage, but
Yeah, but it's still annoying when you get bopped by the blue Wizrobes when you're trying to do the block clipping. So that's a really good find for Blight. Can't do anything about the Triforce, as you mentioned before, being in a Chevy room. But he did pull out all 3 of the items. So Blight's done with level 8. Our runners need to get back to level 3. Blight might feel a little more confident dealing with that room in 3 now with the red ring and the white sword.
yeah, more offense available. And right now, we've actually covered most of our key items here. The only real major helpful but not required thing we're missing is the almighty key.
Yeah, take a look at Frighteeth's key count, by the way.
Wow, double digits.
That is right.
There is a saying when it comes to a number of the higher tier randomizer players. If you have plenty of keys, you are due to run into the almighty key.
That is correct. Now, the good thing about this seed here, now, unfortunately for Magic Friends, has not pulled out the bow, has not pulled out the arrows just yet. The good thing is that this seed kind of told them that you needed to buy the arrows because of how many pulls voice you came across in this entire seed. So it's like the seed was kind of telling him, buy the arrows, buy the arrows.
And then, of course, we had the double-layered Goma to Raft to Silvers, which meant buying them was required. Not every day you see that sort of level of indirection. Now Frighty thinking about knocking out level 8.
And the thing is Frighteeth is going to be able to get this dungeon cleared and beatable. Now, Frighteeth is still looking for the recorder, so he's going to pop into some of these staircases in search of the recorder. Little does Frighteeth know they are in level 6.
Right,
This is an interesting race, and it's been a pleasure having you here with me, Mr. Wolfman.
It's a pleasure to be working with you as well as... Okay, we had missed this.
117.
Yeah, but I think Frighteeth may have gotten that just beforehand, but... This seed is definitely encouraging you to spend.
It wants you to buy the arrows. It really says buy the arrows. Hey, you don't think you need to buy the arrows? Well, here's a whole bunch of rupees. Buy the arrows.
And Mr. Dunlow now knows where the silvers are.
Yeah, and there's the workaround to getting back to that room. Again, you do not have to ladder clip your way in order to get from point A to point B in a T room.
And in the meantime, the reason why Blight went to pick up that money, well, we just saw a letter pickup.
Yep, so Blight may be thinking about getting some safeties, which is not a bad idea.
I know I am a safety player whenever I play these randomizers. I like the ability to have a lot of our containers and plenty of potions to heal up. But then again, I'm not known for being a fast runner, so...
Well, here's the thing, and this is a very helpful hint for any runner, depending on, and it doesn't really matter what your skills are. You play to your abilities. Ooh, Mr. Dunlow takes a blue dark nut to the face after spending his final bomb. That's unfortunate. Now, you play to your abilities. Are you somebody who takes a lot of bad deaths? Then you want to get safeties. And there's nothing wrong with getting the safeties at this point. Bomb upgrade is +6. That's nice.
Oh, anytime we can get 4 or more bombs, that's just a wonderful feeling. And,
There's the white sword for Frighteeth.
And Dunlow is warping.
Yeah, he already got the Triforce out of 6, and so therefore that's probably now where he wanted to go. The problem is he has to make a return trip to level 6 at some point in time. Little does he know that part of the goal that he's looking for is in that level 6.
The recorder.
The recorder. Yep. And by the way, if you haven't taken notice on your screen, we do have all the icons, and next to those are the location where all of those items are. So we definitely don't need to give you the item recap of this seed. So just take a look at that middle. You can see where everything that is, where it is. Mr. Dunlop picking up the letter. Like I said, this is a case where you really play to your strengths. And if your strengths... or rather, you play also to your weaknesses. You play to your strengths and you play to your weaknesses. And if your weakness includes getting hit by a whole bunch of enemies over and over again, then having a potion on hand is not a bad idea.
I have always been a safety player, and my first tournament seed, two or three major tournaments ago, that really cemented it. But then again, no one really wants to talk about that particular seed.
Well, the thing is also is, if you end up taking deaths, what is happening to you? You're losing time.
Losing time, losing patience, losing
that too.
goal.
But the most important thing in a race setting is you're losing time to your competitors, having to walk back and things like that. Sometimes there's beneficial deaths when they take you in a different direction. In these flag sets here, you're going to see less beneficial deaths because of the only deaths that could happen that are beneficial to you is if you end up taking a death inside of a dungeon. And you decide to go in a different direction, find the silver arrows on the floor in a room that you just walked right by the first time around.
Speaking of walking right by, Magic Friends just walked by the bow and just picked it up, and the Armos is giving chase.
Magic Friends heading towards level 6 at this point. And there is a Wizrobe beam to the face for Fried Teeth, sending him back to start. That's unfortunate, because that's a long walk to have to go back to those to that Triforce.
Yeah, Wizrobe's guarding the Triforce in a Chevy room.
I'd rather have yellow or the red Wizrobes guarding it, as opposed to the blue ones.
I can't believe I'm saying this. There is technically an advantage to having blue Wizrobes guard the Triforce over the red Wizrobes.
Well, they can move, but with red Wizrobes, you can always manipulate where they spawn. There's the red ring for Magic Friends.
That may be true, but they're also Power Bracelet for Blight. There is technically... Red Wizrobes can deal more damage than blue Wizrobes.
Well, they can. But you have to watch out, and you can dodge the red Wizrobes. We could go on a debate about red versus blue Wizrobes until we're blue in the face. Mr. Dunn, though, is getting the Triforce out of level 3, and maybe the second of these runners to end up picking up that ladder, which kind of is allowing Fried Teeth a little bit of room to run. And that's why Fried Teeth right now is sitting with 4 Triforces, trying to get to his 5th.
I mean, for the most part, I agree. Blue Wizrobes are worse. I just had to bring up the one potential benefit of blue over red. Because I know there are some folks that like blue over red.
Ooh, well, Fried Teeth likes blue over red. That's why he gave it a hug.
And Blight says no to the book. Smart. Perhaps we should explain what the book actually does in this flag set, because that may have been overlooked.
Well, you see, I briefly brought up the benefits to maybe having the book, but unfortunately in this flag set, you're not going to get much help out of the book, because as you mentioned earlier, we're dealing with community hints. So even if the old man had something to say, as Mr. Dunlow picks up his ladder, but even if the old man had something interesting to say, or needed the book in order to translate him, he's not going to be much of a help. In addition to that, the book could sometimes be used as an atlas, but we are not using this in this flag set as well. However, there is one use to the book, and we could see this come into play in certain tournament races. It's not going to come up into play this time around because we've seen these runners purchase candles. But sometimes people can get that book so they have a fire source to get into level 8. As it turns your wand and the beams as it comes into contact with an enemy, and it turns into, hey, here you go. Here's an instant fire source.
Now, in order for that to work, to enter level 8, you have to have an enemy make contact with that wand beam at the right spot. Yep,
and some enemies are easily manipulatable, like the Octoroks are really, really good. You just fire that wand, and as long as a piece of that hits them, you're good.
Mr. Dunlow wanting a piece of those silver arrows, if not the whole thing, ladder clips over.
Hey, shoes are optional.
I would not want to be the hero of Hyrule exploring these dungeons barefoot.
Ooh, that was close. 2 more red wizards to go. Fried Teeth trying to tackle them down. Gets a beneficial setup here. He's going to be able to clear this one, get the Triforce out of 8. First one to get out of here with the Triforce in hand in level 8. And that ends Fried Teeth's long foray into level 8. That was not a fun level 8 for Fried Teeth at all.
No, I mean, the only things we gained were the White Sword, which admittedly doubles your primary offense, and a heart container.
Well, yeah, you definitely got a few good things out of it. It's just unfortunate that he lost a bunch of time due to the deaths that he sunk into this level 8.
Oh, I think Blight is suspecting these blue Dark Nuts have the final drop for level 1. This room can drop an item.
It can, and it did. It's the other heart container.
3
hearts in level 1.
Wow.
And look at Fried Teeth, up to 12 hearts. And we haven't brought up the magical sword except for saying that Fried Teeth could possibly pull it at some point in time. Let's talk about that, because the way that the magical sword works in this game is that you need to have anywhere between 10 and 14 hearts. The number of hearts it requires is shuffled each seed, so it's random number between 10 and 14. Having 12 hearts means that Fried Teeth now has a 60% chance of pulling it once he gets over towards level 6 at this point, and Fried Teeth is about to get the Triforce out of 3. And all of a sudden, Fried Teeth now has 6 Triforces. His next stop has to be level 6. Why is that, Wolfman?
Because the recorder is buried kinda deep in level 6 today.
That's right.
So just looking at everything, we are down to 4 item checks left. There are 2 remaining heart containers. We had 3 in level 1, 2 in level 2, 1 in level 3, and then we've zeroed ourselves all the way out. So level 7 and level 9, those are the only 2. 2 are heart containers, 1 is the red candle, and 1 is the magic key.
That's a good deduction. Mr. Dunlop going to go pick up the wand if he can do this ladder clip at this point. Gotta get yourself halfway onto the ladder and do a 1 frame touch up or down. Magical sword acquired for Fried Teeth at 12 hearts.
Alright, Fried Teeth has the best offense available, and soon will hopefully have the best defense.
Now, I'm keeping an eye on the IRC. This is a qualifier in which 21 runners are currently running in this race. We do have a certain somebody that if he ends up winning this race, I am going to make a personal suggestion that he gets one of the top 2 seeds hands down. Obviously, I don't have the power to do so. Well, I kind of have the power to do so, but I'm not going to use it. By picking up the Triforce up to level 3, has to go back in and get his ladder. There's the red ring for Fried Teeth. So one of the runners in this race is running in his 8th qualifier in this entire week. We've had 8 qualifiers he has run in all 8 of them. He has won, I believe, what is it, like 4 of them so far this week? 5 of them?
That is a lot. You may want to remind the folks at home how the scoring works, especially if you participate in more and more qualifiers.
I will in just a moment, but Blight is currently dealing with this lamb mola right now, and Fried Teeth is on his way to getting the recorder in level 6. So Blight takes the wrong turn, needs to go to the rooms to the left at this point. There we go. I'm being corrected by Krim. He is sitting at 3 first and 3 second places and a 6th place finish. That is Unos. That is huge for Unos. I mean, that is Iron Man-like.
Yes, Unos, we meet again. Blight meets the stepladder again.
Yep, Blight needs that stepladder. He knows that now he can get the Triforce out of level 8.
And Fryteeth, with that recorder on hand, can finish this up, has to just find where the Triforce is. Fortunately, relatively close to where we entered level 6.
Yep, so Fryteeth now at the 51-minute mark is the first runner on our screen to be in what we call Triforce and Go mode, which means Fryteeth, when he pops into level 7, doesn't have to worry about doing any searches for anything with the exception of finding out where the Triforce is. 9 keys. You're not going to see him try to go all out of the way to see in the rare chance that the any key is going to pop up into that dungeon. And also, Fried Teeth, yes, he does have the red ring. He looks like he's in a bluish color, but that's because of he's got random tunic colors on, which is one of the cosmetic options that you have in this randomizer. Mr. Dunlop picking up the white sword.
Also, speaking of cosmetic options, one of the newer flags that we have is the ability for the recorder to play a different tune. As Fryteeth approaches the entrance to level 7, I am going to quiet down and challenge the rest of you to name that tune.
But that doesn't mean I'm going to quiet down.
I thought you had a great taste in music.
I do. I don't know what this recorder tune is going to be.
Well, this is why we are going to find out together.
But does that mean I have to be quiet? Because I don't know what that tune is. I'm sure somebody will give us the answer. Ah, Jiggly has the answer. That is right. That is the Metroid item acquired.
I thought it was the Metroid intro theme. That didn't sound like the item acquired.
Oh, that's
theme.
right. The Metroid intro theme. That's right. Okay, well, nonetheless, I move on, and I am incorrect, and being corrected by all of you now that I am definitely incorrect. That's why I wouldn't play well with name that tune.
Perhaps don't forget the lyrics is your intended spot?
Oh, hell, I wouldn't be good at that game either.
Don't worry, neither would I.
There's the Triforce from Magic Friends. That will be his second Triforce. Also, thank you very much for the raid from RPG Limit Break, one of our dear friends here that loves to restream several races in the RPG genre. Plus, of course, they do their annual event in May. So, shout outs to those guys, and thank you very much for the raid here on Speed Gaming 2. We are in Qualifier race number 8, the last of the qualifiers for week number 1. I had Adirondack Rick Wolfman here, Mr. Cab pushing the buttons behind the scenes as we see where these runners end up finishing in this. The way this tournament works, this is a 5-week qualifier process. You have to race a minimum of 1 race per week. Add your scores, which are compounded into a Z-score based on the average of your positions to the top 5, or the average of the top 5 finishers. Get calculated, and that will put forth to the seeding for a single elimination best of 3 bracket we have coming up after all of these 5 weeks are said and done. Each week adds a brand new wrinkle, and at the end of this race, we'll tell you what the wrinkle is for week number 2. Look at the power of that red ring. Mr. Dunlop's just tanking those Wizrobe beams.
However, we're not done with Wizrobes yet. They have invaded level 7.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they're in level 9 as well.
There are 3 primary enemy groups within Zelda 1, and I do want to say that the level 9 enemy groups are shuffled as well.
That is correct. So it's not guaranteed to be Wizrobes, but in this case, I'm going to bet that we have Wizrobes in level 9. Blight trying to do the ladder clip over to get to those silver arrows. Almost has it. Just gotta place yourself at the halfway mark of the ladder. It's a little harder depending on what your sprite is going to be, but does pull it off. Just getting back to what I was talking about earlier in regards to the finishers of this race. Once again, there are 21 runners in this race. We got 4 of them on your screen. We do have 2 finishers already in this race. And chalk it up to a 3, 4, and 0 week for Unos. As far as top 3 finishes are concerned, Thurl finishing first, 53-55, Unos 54-16.
Kudos for getting through this seed very quickly. It's considering the dungeons that we, all the item diving that we had to go through. You kind of have to. You could probably eventually picture the god route or one of the best routes, but I wonder what that's going to possibly tell us about level 9.
I don't know. The big reason why I'm uncertain about it is because of all the issues that Fried Teeth had in level 8, it slowed him down. You take a runner that has a lot of great combat, a lot of great movement, like Unos does, like Thurwolf does. Take level 8 and you get through there in maybe 1 bop or 2 at the very most. And that's a lot of time that Fried Teeth wound up losing to those runners in that regards. Don't forget, we're basing this on a Z-score, so right now, we only have 2 finishers out of the 5 that we use for the average.
There's our container number 8 out of 9.
And that was in level 7, correct?
Yes, it was the floor drop.
And Max Plus Pi does make an interesting comment there. The runners here on stream were sorting down those pulls voice. If you had the bow early as your Armos item, and you had the arrows, that's a whole lot of time you're saving versus having to sort down those pulls voice.
Then I have a routing question.
I have a routing answer.
When does it make sense to go to the level 6 area where in this case the bow is located?
Well, if you take one thought about these flags, you take a quick look at these flags for level for where things can be. One of the check marks here that is set to random is whether or not the Armos item is shuffled. So, with that knowledge in hand, if you go to the Armos near the grave, you get a whole lot of information. Either there's the Triforce for Fried Teeth, he's now eligible to get into level 9. So either you find out the information that level 9, or rather the Armos has been shuffled, and the Armos that's at the grave will be replaced with the cave that the Armos that had been shuffled, that now has the item. It will have that original cave. So you get a lot of information out of just heading on over towards the level 6 area. So if you did do that just to find out if the Armos was there, or to find out which Armos was going to have the item, then you get a huge piece of information. And in this case, you get the bow. And you find out the bow is 66 rupees, so then you try to find out where you can get some rupees for it. Fried Teeth buying grabbing a potion, and that's a very good decision considering the fact that you don't know what you're walking into in level 9.
This is probably a good time to talk about what we will expect to find in level 9.
Pain, misery, and suffering.
Well, obviously those three, but I'll try to explain a little bit more. We are looking for 2 locations within level 9.
Okay, you're talking about that stuff. Perfect.
Yes. So, first thing we're looking for is, where is the beast, Ganon? And the second thing is, where is the kidnapped, in this case, Zelda? Well, that's a limited opening for level 9. So, fortunately... Go ahead.
It seems like there's been a lot of limited openings to these 9s. Like, of the scenes that I have seen of these tournaments, there's been a lot of you can only go one way. And there are not going to be any whiz ropes in this 9.
Because we had ropes. So this may be a kinder 9, but it's going to depend. Let's at least finish the explanation. So we will have hints for where the beast and the kidnapped are located.
We won't.
Not the old man hints.
Nope.
But there are other types of hints.
That's right. You're talking about the... First of all, we're going to be listening for the roar of Ganon, which will signal that Ganon is lurking a 1 room away. But how do we know where Zelda is?
Well, in this case, as we explore these rooms, we will see shutter doors, and we will see enemies. If we take out all the enemies in a room, and that single shutter door does not open, well, there you go. You have found the kidnapped. Now, if you've taken out the beast first and you haven't found the kidnapped, then in this case the door will just automatically open regardless of whether there are enemies or not, and then you just go right in and rescue the kidnapped and celebrate.
How do you celebrate?
I leave that up to the discretion of the runners.
That sounds like a good idea.
Now, what may make level 9 tricky is there are 6, count them, 6 passageways.
Here's one.
And admittedly, since I've been explaining a lot of this, I have not been keeping track of where everything has been this time, so... Oh, look at this setup.
By the way, 2 of our runners are in level 7. Blight is 1 Triforce away from being able to get into level 9. Mr. Dunlow and Magic Friend still just trying to figure stuff out as they make their way towards getting into their Triforce and Go mode. Hey, there's a piece of that puzzle.
I did not hear the roar. I may have had the volume turned a little low.
I didn't hear the roar that well either. So Fried Teeth here with the magical sword needs to hit this Ganon 4 times to make him turn red. That's where you'll use the silver arrows. Now Ganon is a little off because of where he spawned at the very, very bottom of the room. So that means he's not going to be in the best locations that you are normally used to getting him in the stun lock. But Fried Teeth finally gets through that and gets him to hit him the 4 times he needs in order to grab the Triforce of Power.
And now we just have to find the kidnapped, since we already collected the Triforce of Wisdom to get into level 9, then rescue the kidnapped and get the Triforce of Courage in Zelda 2, but we'll talk about that another day.
And we've updated the tracker right now. It looks like Mr. Dunlow may have had the Triforces out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. We'll wait for further developments here as he's in level 7, but Fried Teeth trying to get through this level 9.
Hi, Aquamentus. Bye, Aquamentus.
Hi, Zelda's room.
Can't say bye yet. We are still Slither!
Hi there. So as Fried Teeth continues to go through this level 9, we do have 3 more finishers. Redbird Grad was 3rd with a 59-12. Garrett Karn was 4th with a 103-16, and Angry Larry finished in 5th with a 103.39, and that is where we currently stand. There's our averages, and there's the shutter door that opens for Fried Teeth, and in a Chevy room is the princess, as Fried Teeth comes through, but gets sniped as Homer J. Smash finishes in 6th place with a 104.44. Fried Teeth, 7th place, 104.53.
Get your GGs out in chat, folks.
And we will have Fried Teeth joining us in just a few moments, and we'll go ahead and talk about a few other things that are going on in regards to the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament as we move along on this broadcast here on Speed Gaming 2.
And now we have official confirmation. The recorder tune was, all it says is from Metroid.
Game start from Metroid.
Game start, there it is. Oh, it actually does a colored text for that now. I don't remember that.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Magic Friends currently with the wood arrows in their inventory. Pops out of this level 7. Apparently has not found the raft out of level 5. Blight does have the ladder, as we see a Blight coming across a Chevy room. And we have a Boletta finishing 8th place, 105.43, or 105.49 rather. GG's to all of the runners so far.
Indeed, this may be a fun randomizer, but sometimes it can be tricky, so again, kudos to everyone participating in this tournament.
By the way, I do want to point out that Mr. Dunlow has 20 bombs.
We had missed a second bomb upgrade room.
It's probably somewhere here in this level 7.
Probably. This place is 33 rooms of pure torture, after all.
Depends on who you ask.
I can confirm it from LOZ Cards Fan 23. It's torture.
Again, that depends on who you ask. Lots Cards Fan definitely is one of those sources you want to ask. Do you want to say that if you are enjoying the Link to the Past or the Zelda 1 Randomizer, wrong tournament, if you're enjoying the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament, be sure to follow the Speed Gaming channels as well as the Randomania channels, as we will be broadcasting as many of these qualifiers as we possibly can on the 2 sources. So be sure to do that as we welcome in Fried Teeth and GG's to you.
Thank you.
So, as far as this seed was concerned, how do you feel about your placement?
Got off to a terrible start. Just way too many deaths early on. But I'm guessing I probably got a little bit lucky that I bought the arrows, and I bought them because I was having so much trouble with the Pole's Voice in 3 and other places, and it turned out they were required to get the silvers. So I'm guessing that saved me a fair amount of time.
It did save you some time. My main question is how do you feel about your 7th place finish in this seed as far as your tournament positioning was concerned?
Well, a lot better than the previous 2 that I ran. I wasn't originally planning on racing tonight, but didn't do so well in the first 2 and decided to give it another shot tonight, and that felt a lot better.
Yeah, are you glad that you did?
Very.
Light's about ready to head into level 9. So I think the biggest things for you is, first of all, you were the first one to get to the ladder in level 3. You got past that Lammola when everyone else ended up taking Bobs, and they said, no, that I know where the item room is, but I'm not going through that Lammola. So I think that ended up helping you a little bit, especially with your routing in level 5. Unfortunately, I do have another question about level 5 coming up in just a moment. You were the first one to get the raft out of level 5, but were you thinking at any point, like, I should have killed that Goma?
I was. but I only had, I think, 3 other rooms in level 5 at that point. So I figured I would be faster to clear the other 3 rooms than kill the Goma, which always takes me way too long.
Magical Sword being 12 hearts definitely was a plus for you as well.
Yes.
Or at least 12 hearts. We don't know what the exact number is at this point, as both you and Mr. Dunlow here on the stream end up having it. Magic Friends gets the white sword out of level 8. So that brings me to level 8. Is there anything that is family-friendly that you would like to say about level 8?
Probably not.
That is pretty acceptable given how level 8 gave you the business.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been as bad. I got into that Triforce room the first time and just, missed pushing down quickly enough, took the death. And if I don't take the death there, I clear that room probably on the first try, and then easily go and find the 3rd item. So that one's on me.
Honestly, the way these enemies were set up and the way that, the entrances were and the Triforce pieces were, this seed really did not make it easy for you.
No, the only thing that was, the one thing that was nice about this seed was keys were never a problem. Because I never found the any key, and I think I still ended with at least 10.
Well, we haven't seen the any key either, and we're going to guess that it was either the staircase room of level 7 or one of the 2 items in level 9. Mr. Dunlow also in level 9 at this point, so it's up to Blight and Mr. Dunlow to see which one can get to the pig first. And as far as that level 9 was concerned, what was your overall thoughts about that level 9?
That level 9 may have been the easiest part of the seed, but with Magical Sword and Red Ring, I would hope so.
And no Wizrubs.
I guess that's true.
No Patras either in level 9. I mean, we saw Aquamentus, so that meant that Patras couldn't be in there, if I recall correctly.
Mr. Dunlow finding out that Mr. Dunlow finding out part of the task of the seed, finding out where the princess lies.
Of course, we do need the beast first, which I believe that was in the
southwest corner.
Yep.
So next week we add the Dungeon Shuffle. Is that going to change your game plan for the start of the seed? Or are you still going to try to make the jaunt over towards level 3?
No, I still like to head over to 3 first. It's closest to start, and so easiest to get to. I think one of the interesting things with the week 2 flags becomes when do you head up to Vanilla 9, because it's so far out of the way of everything, but I played a few seeds where there was something pretty important up there.
And it could very well be your level 1 right there with bows, silver arrows, and a recorder.
Right, so yeah, it's not easy to get to, but you gotta figure out when to route it in.
I think I had messed with the week 2 flags on my off time. I had tried doing some routing similar to, I guess, one of the old school no major glitches run of this, where you start with 2, then 1, etc. I basically approached level 9 effectively when I was approaching level 6, but I don't know if that's necessarily the best approach. For other runners, or, perhaps either you or Rick can offer advice as to when you should go over to Spectacle Rock in this flag set?
The idea is it's kind of tough because it's situational. Mr. Dunlow's about ready to find out where Ganon is. Probably just 1 room away from him at this point, as he kills off the Aquamentus and heads to the room to the south. The lights go dark, and there is Ganon. I think the idea is, at some point in time, probably when you're considering heading towards the Armos, it's obviously easier if you have the recorder in your hand, because then if that turns out to be nothing significant, you can flute away and head somewhere else. So Mr. Dunlow has finished off the pick, knows where Zelda is, so it's just going to be a quick return in the route. We do have one more finisher on the board here. Finishing in 9th place is Crystal Saber. 1:13.55 is the final time for Crystal Saber. GG.
And with Ganon defeated, Mr. Dunlow is heading straight to the Kidnapped.
Alright, well, I think I'm gonna sign off, so thanks for the commentary and the tracking and the restream.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Right Teeth, thank you very much for joining us. Finishing in 10th place is Dark Falls, 1983, or now just named as Dark Falls. Finishing 10th place, 1:15.56. As Mr. Dunlow now opens up the door, and there is the Princess finishing 11th place, 1:16.11.
Get your GGs out in chat, folks. And hopefully we can soon speak with Mr. Dunlow.
So Blight needs to head to the south instead of heading to the north. Thankfully, the bomb wall does not open up, so that may have to choose the direction of Blight to go. But Blight's going to take the staircase instead of maybe checking another wall. In fact, they can't check another wall because they are out of bounds.
Oh, that's... If there's one thing you really do not want to be out of in level 9, it's bombs. Because sometimes you have to find that bomb hole.
Have we seen any bomb-dropping enemies?
I admit, I have not been paying that much attention to the enemy sets, but... Unless...
Now, there's supposed to be a guaranteed enemy that will have a bomb drop in the group. Error 404, Ganon not found. Well, we know that there is going to be a Ganon found somewhere for Blight, but gonna be hard to figure this one out without any bombs. Speaking of bombs, Can't Find Bombs finishes in 12th place with a 1:17.32. Sorry, had the perfect segue, had to go for it.
I understand. According to chat, we did miss some Gibdos in level 9, so...
Okay, those would be your bomb-dropping enemies then.
However, the only shop that has bombs is the Blue Ring shop.
Yep, the rare shop. And we got Mr. Dunlow sitting here in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
You got it.
So, here we are. Mr. Dunlow is with us. GG.
Oh. Can you guys hear me? I clicked something crazy. Thank you for the GGs.
I know I was able to hear you. Were you able to, Rick?
Yes, I was.
Okay, good. Bunch of crazy stuff popped up on my screen, but it's an audio medium for me right now anyway, so I'm good.
And there are the 2 rupee bombs for Blight as Mr. Dunlow is joining us. 2nd place here on the restream, finishing 11th overall. Your thoughts on the seed and your thoughts about your finish position?
Well, this was only the 2nd qualifier I've raced in this week, and in my previous one, I forgot to check the white sword item, which turned out to be the silver arrows. So that was a catastrophe. So I had a slow start tonight. I don't think going 3 first turned out to be the lucky best play, but I definitely cannot complain in comparison to my previous.
Well, the big thing is 3 was a fine place to go, but the problem was how to get to the actual big item of level 3 required some block clipping. Or perhaps an easier way of dealing with Lamola.
Yeah, I think that was the big thing, was I just I looked around to that room And, obviously the ladder ended up being there, but there were so many rooms that I couldn't clear with 3 hearts and a wood sword that I realized it was just time to get the heck out of it.
Knowing when to say when is definitely one of the challenges as we move through a seed. 13th place, we have Bowling Mania with 119.46. You were the only person on the restream to end up having a full complement of bombs, 20 of them. Where was the other bomb upgrade?
There was a bomb upgrade back in level 7, and basically it was a little counterintuitive to get to it because I was sort of progressing down like southwest through level 7, but for some reason I hooked back up. It was sort of in the bottom of the top right. It was in a weird little place that I just happened to run right into.
But you also got the magical sword, which helped you get through level 9. And you also found the princess as well as Ganon a whole lot faster. Blight and you both were in level 9 and at just about the same time. And Blight's still having some issues as we see one of the heart containers in level 9.
Yeah, I think, level 9's level 9. I tend to, if I don't have the silvers, or if I do have the silvers, I try to not take staircases until I have to. And sometimes that ends up being just perfectly incorrect. And this time I think the staircases might have been red herrings, because I don't think I walked through a single staircase, and it didn't take me that long to clear.
There was one staircase that got you to the room that was just to the east of Ganon, which Fryteeth ended up taking. But other than that, yeah, you're right. There really wasn't a whole lot of great staircases to check. Getting reports from Polymania saying it in chat that apparently their seed got slowed down because of that raft blocking Goma.
Yeah, I guess it was helpful that the bow was the Armos item, and then the arrows were right there in the vanilla arrow shop. So once I had the bow, I was like, let me get the arrows immediately.
Didn't you just have barely enough rupees to get that?
Yeah, I think I had 5 to spare. One of the things I like about going 3 first in these flags, you can start with level 1 and then scroll over to the Armos item, but if you get a candle or something in that shop, you won't have enough money to buy it. So when I go level 3, I usually hope I have 1 or 2 bombs, and then when I save back to start, I'll get that 30 secret right north of start. So it gives me a little money in case I find a shop. I know there's the other secret in Death Mountain that Eunice likes getting before checking the shop that goes with the Forgotten shop. So I just like having a little bit of money, and I guess it paid off this time.
Every little bit helps here, especially with, again, the enemy sets were not the kindest. You had to often go from one end of the dungeon to another for the key items here. Overall, just, do you feel like you did well here, and do you feel like you are ready for week 2?
The way the qualification system is set up, I feel like I did all right, and I feel like all right is good, if that makes sense. I mean, it really is all going to come down to the week 5 flags, because I think if there's 101 of us in there, there's going to be 20-some people to get a buy. So the majority of people are going to be mixing it up in the bracket rounds there. So I think doing fine is fine, if that makes sense. And there's plenty of good runners there literally with a score of 0 right now that as we progress through the next 5-6 weeks of the tournament are going to get in there, and we're going to really be mixing it up when we're in a 100-person bracket. So should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that should get really interesting when we get through the this main part. As you mentioned, week 5 could be a slog or a big mad fest there, as you mentioned, as people try to get themselves positioned to better spots in order to get them to where they need to be to get a bye. Or maybe try to get themselves out of maybe having to deal with Unos in round 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there that can steamroll people. But, as we go forward, there's going to be a little more random to the randomizer, I guess, when the dungeon locations shuffle and shapes come into play. I think these flags are fun because they're really accessible if you're new, but there is a lot of random factoring, a lot of on-the-fly routing that can really help you. So I've had a lot of fun preparing for this tournament and competing in it so far.
And that's part of the name of the game there, is having fun.
Sometimes that's the only part of the game I'm good at, I think.
As long as you're having fun, that's what matters.
Without question.
Boletta has now pulled up the ladder out of level 3. Appears to be making the way over towards level 5's Triforce. Light trying to figure a way to get to what is the needed route to go towards the southwest corner.
But do note, Blight only has one key. And level 9 is... It's like, you don't want to be low on bombs, you don't want to be low on keys. Both you can buy and replenish, one of the benefits of this game, but keys are always more expensive than bombs, no matter how cheap the prices get.
Funny you said that, as Blight got 8 bombs out of that room.
Well, okay, Blight just saved 16 rupees.
Actually, no.
You said 8 bombs, it was 2 apiece this seed.
2 for a 4-pack.
2 times 4 is 8, times 2 is 16.
No. 2 rupees get you 4 bombs.
But I thought you said Blight got 8 bombs.
Moving on now, since we apparently are failing at the mathematics department.
I may have misheard you, but it doesn't matter.
That's why we're moving on. We don't want to spend time about this because Blight's getting closer and closer to getting to where Ganon is going to be. So next week, which starts tomorrow, qualifier schedule is as follows. Sunday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday is the matinee race at 1 o'clock. And then Wednesday night is going to be the West Coast friendly, 11:59 or midnight. Thursday is going to be a 12 noon race. Friday is the 10 o'clock race. And then to wrap up the week on Saturday, we have 3 p.m. and 11 p.m. races. We'll let you know where those channels are going to be in due time. Blight now getting to Zelda at this point, since Blight is playing as a Dark Knight.
And with that white sword, we need 8 hits total.
That is right. And again, it's tough getting a stun lock on Ganon under this set because Ganon is off-center due to his positioning in the room.
But
He has finished off the pig and now needs to go save the princess. Or save Ganon in this case.
I am still not used to rescuing Ganon.
I play as a gorilla. I'm used to it all the time. Just a few rooms away. Any final thoughts, Mr. Dunlow?
Not too many. I'm just kind of sitting here being a fan, taking it all in. Appreciate you guys on the restream. Appreciate everybody helping out behind the scenes. And thank you to the organizers of the tournament. It's been a lot of fun.
And as Blight pains their way past Lamola and saves Ganon, they will finish in 14th place overall in 128.58 as Magic Friends now is in level 7, just a room away from where the Triforce is, after he dispatches of this Goma.
And thus, Chaos returns to Hyrule. Right, rescuing Ganon. Does that.
Yes, that is right. We have Chaos here. And there's the Triforce pickup for Magic Friends.
So I need to double check Magic Friend's inventory, but we may have to go back to level 8. And yeah, unfortunately, due to the way that screen works, you cannot summon the tornado on a recorder secret screen.
That is correct. Magic Friends heading to level 2, so yep, they just gotta pull this Triforce out of level 8, then they will be in level 9 as... Nope. And they are making their way to level 9. And they do have silvers in their inventory. I'm going to assume that he does have the Triforce at a level 8, considering the fact that he is heading to level 9. If he doesn't have the Triforce at a level 8, then the old man will say something as he tries to enter.
But if the old man does say something, will it be actual serious stuff, or will it still be a community-based thing?
It'll still be a community hint, but that's your signal. Hey, look, you don't have all the Triforces. Get out there and get it. And he has got to get the Triforce out at level 8. Gotta catch them all.
Okay,
No
community hint was relevant.
It is.
Well, speaking of relevance, I think we should get Blight in here.
That is right. Let's get Blight in here. And we welcome in Blight. Your thoughts about the seed?
Well, it was pretty good, actually. A lot better than most of the seeds I've played before. First time actually racing this, so yeah, this is a pretty good seed. Level 7 was a bit of a troll, though.
How did it feel to have to deal with all those Poles voice at the very beginning?
Seeing them was a bit of a surprise, but thankfully I picked up the bow and bought an arrow with just the right amount of rupees to...
That's right. You were the one who entered the shop with 66 rupees. Perfect amount there. One thing of note, though, was your decision to go level 1 first. Tell me your thoughts about why you chose level 1, because everyone else on the restream ended up choosing level 3. What made you choose level 1 versus 3?
Well, level 1, of course, has those 3 items in there. And this particular seed turned out to be a very lovely level 1 with those 3 heart containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally, yeah, there's those 3 items in there, so I figured it's close to start, might as well go see what I can do. If it's key blocked, I'll go to something else.
Your decision to go to level 1 ended up choosing you to head over to level 6 relatively early as well, where you were the first runner to find both the red ring as well as the recorder.
Yeah, the recorder was a little bit of a later find. No, actually, wait, no, it wasn't 6. Never mind. Yeah, I decided to go to level 6 because I was blocked out of, I think, 1 and 3 just because of keys. So I figured, you know what, most people aren't going to go to level 6. Let's go to level 6, see what I can find in there. And lo and behold, I find the red ring and the recorder.
Yep, and you used the zombie link to get to the recorder.
Yep. Well, I mean, I have 3 heart containers. Might as well.
Perfect time to do it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give up 4 keys when I only had 2.
I don't think the game would have let you give up those 2.
Yep, no, it wouldn't.
Not doing the zombie link ended up helping you out a little bit because a few of the other runners slowed down because they didn't want to have to pay the toll to get to the other side where the recorder turned out to be. The big theme of the early part of this seed for all of you was the dealing with the Pole's voice. Was that what prompted you to purchase the arrows when you did?
No, it's more of a purchase of opportunity at that point. I knew there was going to be some secrets later on I could pick up, a couple mediums and a large. So I had the money for the arrow. I went for it. I had the bow. There was no reason not to equip myself with an extra weapon. Especially with those Pole's voice being there, I figured, you know what? It's fate. Go for it.
And it did definitely help out because you needed to purchase those wood arrows to get to the silvers.
Did you?
Yep, you had to get the Goma in 5 to get the Raft to get into 4 where the silvers were.
You're right. Well, damn. It's a good thing I bought those arrows then.
Yes, it is.
Agreed.
So tell me your thoughts about the level 9, because I'm certain you probably were thinking a few things when you ended up having to leave level 9 due to your bomb situation about halfway through.
Yeah, it's the old thing of find the bomb hole, and from what I can tell, there's only one specific bomb hole. Is the last place, of course, I bombed. Led to the second half of level 9, where it was completely locked out otherwise. Kind of frustrated when I ran out of bombs. I was kind of afraid I was going to run out of bombs again. Thankfully, there are only 2 rupees, and I know where the hell the shop is. It's not too much of a detour.
I think you're the only one who actually visited that shop as well. So 2 rupee bombs definitely helped you keep yourself stocked up as you made your way through the seed. And thankfully, you were able to find well, in your case, Zelda, on your way over towards trying to hope that you didn't find too many key doors because you were down to 1.
Yeah, that was another concern. Is that near the end there, I was trying to look also for. I dipped into a staircase and dipped out right afterwards. It was because I was looking for maybe the any key could have been in level 9. It's like, what do I? Might as well check. If I get the any key, there goes my key troubles. Otherwise, I have to be very careful.
Just want to pause right here and acknowledge our next finisher on the docket here. Willard J. Bradley finishing 16th place, 135.43. So overall, what do you think your thoughts are heading into week number 2 when we add the dungeon shuffle to the mix?
Well, it's going to start mixing the dungeons up, of course. It just means that instead of going straight for level 1, it could be any dungeon up there, so probably prioritize the closest ones to you and try to figure out, well, see what levels they are and then act accordingly to that. Otherwise, it doesn't really change up too much more than that.
Sounds to me like your strategy might not be depending on going right straight to 1, like you might be choosing to go to 3 as your first dungeon.
Yeah, well, 3 is the easiest one. It's like 3 screens away. A couple of screen transitions to even speed up the thing. 1's a little further away. The only reason I went there first, as I said before, was because there was 3 items there. Now level 3 might have the 3 items from being level 8 or level 1. So it's kind of a toss-up between what the levels are, so go for what gets you into a level faster.
Magic Friends down to 1 key here in this level 9, trying to figure out the path to get to Ganon, and we do see the bait block here in this level 9. Were you starting to get nervous that you may need to get that bait to find the path to Ganon?
Not really. I mean, if I had found the bait block, I could have just left, went to a shop and bought the bait and come back. But it really wasn't even in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't even really a concern.
So overall, any lessons that you may have pulled up as you move into next week?
Well, I definitely still need to work on my level 9 tracking, because I looped around like 2-3 times in specific sections just because I still can't track that one properly. Possibly also might have to start tracking level 7 because it's a nightmare.
33 rooms, and it can definitely be a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I normally don't have too much problems with level 7, but today, not so much.
Almighty Bobino finishing 17th place, 137.27 as we continue to watch Magic Friends try to get their way through level 9. Does know where the princess is, but still trying to figure out the path to get to Ganon. And right now, Magic Friends is stuck in that area that is just northeast of where Ganon is. That includes that bait block room.
We still haven't found the red candle or magic key, and we may not find it, though. Magic friends could certainly use the ladder here.
That is correct, and at this point, we know that it's either in level 7 or level 9 as the other item.
Well, hopefully we don't need any more... Wait, I think we do need a small key in order to get into Ganon's room.
I think so, yeah.
And he already just spent his key getting into a single room. He was hoping to be able to bomb over towards the left. And he finds that this staircase brings him nowhere closer to the end of the goal here.
So for those that are relatively new to Zelda 1 Randomizer, one of the pieces of advice I could offer, track where you are in level 9. Keep up with what drops, where the staircases are, if they transport you anywhere. I have gone through level 9s without mapping them at all, and I have won races doing that, but it's not fun.
Well, we see the up and A from Magic Friends, so he's gonna go check something else. Maybe find if they try to figure out if there's a better path to go. So as we continue through this level 9 for Magic Friends, trying to figure out how to get to Ganon. Trying to figure out the path, and it looks like the best path actually was having to take the long way around to get to the other side.
Yeah, and right now, no one in chat has indicated whether... You know, we do have some runners who, when they finish, sometimes hop in the Speed Gaming 2 chat just to talk about some of their experiences, but no one has stated that they have found the magic key yet.
Yeah, we know it couldn't be the floor drop in 7, because the floor drop in 7 turned out to be one of the many heart containers we have found on our wild path. So Magic Friends pops on over into this room, which is in a direction that he hasn't been just yet. Is this a possibility of figuring out the path to get to Ganon? Can he bomb in? Well, he can go that direction. There's the Aquamentus. He can just kill this thing off, go... Oh, he doesn't have a door. He doesn't have a key for that.
And there was no way to Kanena key that, so,
Ooh, so he needs a key for that room. That's rude.
Hope that the Magic Friends realizes it.
If you can find a way to glitch to that door, you will make a whole lot of friends in the Zelda 1 community.
So here's hoping we find the key in this room or a northern room.
Well, he might be able to. I mean, these are a whole bunch of new rooms that he can explore. There's not a key in this room. This room here is going to be a drop room, but is this the room that can be what he wants it to be? And we're getting word from somebody who is watching another streamer That red candle is the item that's in this level.
If that's the case, then
Any
that
keys in
means
7.
ooh, no one wants to go back there.
I think I would prefer to buy keys rather than go dig it.
I have to agree with you on that one. This 9 really did find ways of depleting your key count.
Oh.
There's not Comanches, but this is not going to be a drop room. These diamond rooms will not become drop rooms or surprise drop rooms, that is, when you clear the rooms out, until we get to shapes. If there's going to be a drop in that diamond staircase, as long as we're dealing with the regular first quest layouts, it's going to be immediately on the floor when you walk in. Unless a Gibdo has swallowed it up and it's walking around with it. So Magic Friends knows the path to go, needs a key at this point. And the thing is a lot of these rooms that Magic Friends is going through, any of these rooms could easily have a key for a drop.
Could, yes. Would, will?
No.
I don't remember many of them even having keys as drops.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple on the right side, but nothing past that.
Well, right now we're more on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with what Magic Friends is doing is he is spending his arrows. And that's not a bad idea. It gets the enemies killed faster, with one major exception. You may have to go buy a key.
And I have not paid attention to the price of keys.
Well, I know that one shop that is the one that's in the Forgotten Spot that is also underneath of several of the burn bushes, that one had 80 rupee keys.
If I'm recalling my shop prices correctly, that's I think that's a little
lower than
high.
normal.
Okay.
That's still no. There's a staircase here, and Magic Friends is going to take it. Where is he going to go? And yes, just for chat, yep, Magic Friends does know how to get to Ganon. The problem is that he also knows that there's a big 0 next to his key count. He needs to get a key in order to get to Ganon. 18th place Sparkover finished with a 145.23.
And while I did mention that there are 6 passageways, they don't always take you to useful spots. That was actually a dud passageway, where there was no way to, or at least no point in bombing out.
It depends on the perspective. It was a dud for Link, but it was a good passageway for Ganon because that less chance of Magic Friends finding the path to get to you.
Oh, and now... Oh.
Now the good thing about ropes is that you can grind them and get a whole bunch of rupees.
As long as you don't spend the arrows and... It's... Okay, I understand that this may be due to NES system limitations, but let's attempt to put this into lore. Why are rupees turned to arrows?
Because... What are arrows made of?
The bow is magic?
Maybe. You gotta spend rupees in order to get the item. They're not. You don't have free arrows.
The trick is you're not actually buying an arrow. You're buying the spell to convert rupees into arrows.
I like the way this guy thinks.
Well, why don't... Why isn't it just a quiver that you buy?
Because then what? How are you stocking it with arrows?
Well, apparently we're stocking it with rupees. I don't know.
Welcome to Deep Thoughts.
I am honestly starting to wonder if all of the keys were claimed at this point.
More than likely. I mean, I don't think this dungeon has a lot of keys in it to begin with. Most of the keys are elsewhere. I mean, I got to about 12 keys before entering level 9, and it drained it.
Yeah, Boletta was saying the same thing. And so we continue, trying to find a key.
At this point, probably better off gonna go buy a key, but...
Yeah, go find over the max rupee secret at this point. We know where the 3 are. They're always going to be in their vanilla locations, which is the top right corner, the one that is above the coast heart that you bomb into, and also the location of the Lost Woods, or the Dead Woods 100 secret, which is the one that usually is grabbed by all runners on the Zelda 1 routes.
Right underneath the burn bush.
Yep.
Oh no, Magic Friends is out of bombs too.
Maybe this will force Magic to go out and get a key. Might be a good thing.
Staircase room. And
he's kind of forced into making a move at this point. And he finds the map as a drop.
Oh, that's
and
not
it
a
is not a
staircase
push
then.
staircase. And Magic Friends has opted to surrender, not finding any keys
close.
in level 9. And Magic Friends has said in a comment, let me see, @ right parentheses asterisk $, right asterisk asterisk right parentheses asterisk %, @ right parentheses %, _ right parentheses left parentheses exclamation point @ percent _ right parentheses left parentheses the and ampersand you
He's only halfway through, guys.
exclamation point _ left parentheses ampersand y exclamation point pound _ right parentheses y %, left parentheses plus right parentheses $, exclamation point parentheses pound.
You forgot a percent sign before the pound.
Thank you.
More characters.
Oh wait, according to Mr. Cab, you missed the final percent.
Good night, friends.
Don't forget to follow twitch.tv/speedgaming and speedgaming 2 through 6. Tune in starting tomorrow where we will have the week 2 qualifiers along with plenty more events. Please follow our runners. Stygian Blight, Mr. Dunlow, Magic Friends, and Fry Teeth. Don't forget about following Adirondack Rick, the other commentary personnel, and Mr. Cab55 for keeping up with all this.
Yeah, thanks guys for
GG's
setting us all up.
everybody. GG's to all of the runners who have played in here. Be sure to follow them all. Week 2 begins tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time with all these flags that you saw in this with the addition of the Dungeon Shuffle. Should be a lot of fun. Be looking forward to that. That will be right here on one of these Speed Gaming channels. So special thanks to everybody who's been working behind the scenes to get this on the air. Mr. Broadstone helping out behind the scenes, and also for the admin team for the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament. I am Adirondack Rick saying thank you. And hopefully we can find more keys next time as we go through the world of Hyrule in the Zelda 1 Randomizer 2019 tournament. Have a good Saturday night.
And watch out for Pole's voice and Wizrobes and everything else. Keep on grooving.